This is Matrix Lord 212, and I kind of caved today, as you saw in the Real Hoovians cast, and I got Doctor Hooves. Pretty cool, huh? Look at him. How awesome is that? Really, Doctor Hooves. Yeah, I love Doctor Who stuff, man. This is the TARDIS and Dalek Salt and Pepper set. Pretty cool, you know. Nice. It was a nice, cool comic book store. Um, Hypnotronic Comics. Had a great time today. And I was just going to do jury duty, to come out and get this nice store. So, wanted to talk tonight about the silence, okay, from Doctor Who. And I wanted to talk about, when we first saw, when they first mentioned the silence in Series 5, the Vampires in Venice episode especially, um, the woman that's like the head of the fish vampires, she said that they ran from the silence. Basically, that they came through the cracks. It was like another universe, and for whatever reason, the silence hunted down the fish. Now, doing some research, I have looked into it that fish retain memory, like where people think that fish only have like couple second memory. That's not true. Their memory, their mind strength of memory is a lot stronger than humans. So, to put that into fantasy terms, the silence would be threatened by the fish because the fish would prevent their powers from working on them. So, anytime there would be fish around, the silence probably wouldn't be. So, that's an interesting concept for the silence. Now, another thing we learned in Series 6 that the silence basically did not want the Doctor to reach Trenzlor and say his name. But the problem here is, and they said that the Silence were uh, a religious sect. They weren't a species. So you have these aliens dressed up in suits all the time. Kind of leads you to believe that the Silence were created, like by Omega or someone. Um, and Madame Quaverian had worked for the Silence, and the Silence kind of turned on her, and killed her really, in the alternate universe. But they, somewhere along the lines, things got a little hazy because the Doctor basically woke up the human race to who the Silence were, and they wiped out the Silence. And then they appeared again in Winning River Song, and kind of gets like crazy. I mean, their whole thing was, and they say, well, maybe they're not bad guys, maybe they're good guys. They're not good guys, okay? Because they were just obliterating people and manipulating the human race since the dawn of time, and it was just nonsense. So they're not good guys. People who manipulate people are not good guys. So the Silence were manipulating the human race, and it was a thing where they had the larger TARDIS, they had through river in the bottom of the ocean or lake to be the impossible astronaut to kill the Doctor. And if they were really that concerned with the Doctor reaching Trenzor, they would have been on Trenzor, and they would have stopped him when a great intelligence was there. They were not there. So this is another example of how storylines change or the directions of the character changes. And you got to think that the Whispermen are very similar to the Silence because they're dressed up too. They're dressed up in like Victorian attire, and it makes you wonder if they're all part of the same group. The Headless Monks, the Silence, the Whispermen. Maybe the Whispermen are not working for the Great Intelligence. Maybe they, help out the Great Intelligence and you can absorb their body and whatever, but maybe they are part of a different order, the religious order of the Silence. Now, another thing is that the Silence are not called silent. they are called the silence. There is no one ever said that one silence is called a silent. Okay, I don't know where that came from, but that was never said. Okay, they are called the silence, not silent, and they are probably genetically engineered or created, I would say. And the Whispermen, which look like the Trickster Brigade, probably they all work for the same guy, I would say. Um, whether it be someone like the Dream Lord or an Omega or something. And it's going to tie in with dreams, I'm sure. Um, so that's my take on the silence. Now, the silence I thought was in the house with Amelia, because you heard the sounds in the 11th hour. Um, and, their story really wasn't told properly, I felt. I feel that there's more to tell with the silence, more to tell with River Song, more to tell with Madame Bavaria, and more to tell with everyone, really. So I hope that Moffat can answer the questions for the 50th anniversary. And that's it. Take care. Bye for now.